Hey guys, this is Smithy. Welcome to my channel. Today's video is a very special one. We're going to talk about all the Simply Posh Cosmetics eyeshadow palettes, and I have currently 6 with me, and we're going to rank all 6 together, and I'll tell you what are my favorites. I almost like everything that I own right now from them, and they're one of the indie brands that I absolutely love and trust. I have a oily eyelid, so it tends to crease definitely towards like the end of the day, but this is the only formula that doesn't crease on me, and that's mainly because it is more of like a thinner consistency, but it does give all the dimensions and the shifts. If you are interested in this eye look, I'll put it towards the end of the video. So without further ado, let's rank all the Simply Posh Cosmetics palettes. So on number 6, I have the Fairy Tales Fairies palette. Now I know it's like a very much of like a cult favorite palette in the beauty community. I personally, the only thing that I do not like is that this is a pastel palette, and generally pastels do not look good on me, and that's mainly because of my like skin tone. But I know a lot of people who love pastels and who love this formula. I really love and adore the last row and even the duochrome shimmers that are there in the palette. My duochromes in this palette tends to have like that hard pan, which they have fixed right now, but also because the first row is all like pastels and this doesn't show up nicely on me. That's the main reason why this is ending on number 6. On number 5, this is where it all began. It is the Simply Posh Cosmetics Genuine Gems palette. Now I'm a big jewel tone person, and this is like really good. I love all the colors that are selected in this palette. I generally do not tend to wear like this kind of a bright color story. I absolutely love the purple column. You know how much I love my purples. I also do like the orangey and the red columns too. I am not big of a person of like this kind of a green and a blue, so this goes out of picture for me. Oh, by the way, all the Simply Posh Cosmetics palettes are magnetic, so it's very easy to customize these palettes. You've seen me like whenever I'm traveling, I generally do customize one of the Simply Posh Cosmetics palette with the shades that I absolutely love and adore, and I take that with me. I love the way how this looks on me. The shimmers are definitely like improved in the newer palettes because the number of times that I've used this palette and the number of times that I reach out for this palette is less. That's why this is ranking on number 5. But if you love the color story of the jewel tones, you'll absolutely love this. On number 4, we have the Berry Icy palette from Simply Posh. I personally love this half of the palette. You know how much I love my mauvey purples, and this is just beautiful. I feel like this is like mauvey neutrals with like a purpley twist, this half of the palette. This half, I can include this like as my inner corner shade or like a pop of color on my eyelid, but I generally do not tend to wear like these pastel tones and like these minties and blues on my eyes, but I love each and every shimmer that was included in this palette. So I love this palette and I've used this palette so very much. I absolutely adore this half of the palette, and that's why this is ranking higher on the list, and for that reason I'm ranking this on number 4. They're extremely sparkly on the eyes. I love the shade Bittersweet, and oh my god, these shades, especially these 4 mattes, are just gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. Even this one, this is like a grungy green to a pink shifting shade. On the eyes, these are all very pretty. Okay, let's move on to number 3. On number 3, this is the palette that I have on my eyes, and this is Citrus Sponge palette. They are reformulating the Citrus Sponge palette this year, but I love the color story. This is such a spring and a summer palette. This is fun. It's so very fun. I'm actually wearing, you'll see in the end of the video how I achieve this look, but I'm mainly focused on like these 3 columns, and that's how I got my look. I really love the way how it sparkles and shine in like the evening lights. And under the sunlight, it's really pretty. I love this color story. This is absolutely a fun palette. Like if you love punchy yellows and oranges and pinks, this palette needs to be in your collection, and especially in the newer formula, you'll absolutely love. Like my favorite shimmer that they have done is this one. It's like a green to a pink shifting shade, and it is absolutely gorgeous. I know that you can see it in the camera. It's so pretty. Now, top two can interchange any time of the day, but this is how I feel right now. On number two, I have the Aurora Lights palette. This is such a fun color story, but I love that the shades that were chosen for this were like muted at the same time and punchy at the same time. Absolutely love and adore these last two columns. This last column mattes are so unique to my collection. I absolutely love them, and the shimmers are so sparkly. You definitely can pick it up with your fingers and just apply it, and it's not giving me any hard pan or anything. And the top row is definitely much more punchy on the eyes. So I can definitely pop this in my inner corners as my crease shade, whatever. This palette is absolutely beautiful. I love the variety of the shades that were chosen in it. I love the format that Simply Posh Cosmetics does when they're doing the palette on like light, shimmer, and then deeper shade, so that every column is a look by itself, and this is full of duochromes. All these shades are so beautiful on the eyes. I cannot recommend this enough, and generally, even when I'm going to office, I generally do deepen out my outer corners with one of these shades, and that gives that interest of that color to the eye, and then just pop a neutral on the crease and then a colorful shimmer on the eyelid, and that's what I do. And now you might have guessed what is my number one. My number one is the Cozy Cabin palette. Now that is mainly because of the wearability of the shadow. I absolutely love a neutral tone palette, and this is neutral at its finest. Like, it's not boring browns. It is colorful but muted at the same time, but it's so wearable on the eyes too, and the shimmers are extremely impactful in the eyes. And this is like the most used palette from Simply Posh in my collection. I've often reached out for all the shades, I would say, and I absolutely love it. I love this purple row, and these tones on the eyes are just gorgeous. I'm not a big green and a blue person, but these are the tones that I would love to wear when I'm wearing a green and a blue look. And for that reason, this has landed on my number one. Now, you guys let me know in the comment section below, out of the Simply Posh collection palettes that you have in the collection, what is your number one out of the lot? But before leaving, let's move on to the eye look. This is just a matter of preference. I love these palettes. That's why it's there in the collection, but some I like a little more than the other. So that's how my ranking was. I really hope that you guys enjoyed this ranking for the Simply Posh Cosmetics palette. If you did like this video, you know what to do. Do give it a thumbs up and also subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and ring the notification bell so that you're notified every time that I post next. I generally upload 3 videos every single week, every Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays at 9 AM Eastern Standard Time. Until next time, I'll see you guys in my next video.